Injuries and illness have decimated the Pittsburgh Steelers at safety to begin November. To combat the issues, though, the team has elected to load up at running back for Week 9. The Steelers announced Sunday morning they will have 5 running backs active for the November 2nd matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. The 3 running backs on the 53-man roster, Jaylen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, and Caleb Johnson, are all active for the showdown. The Steelers also elevated running backs Trey Sermon and Lou Nichols from the practice squad. In addition to 5 running backs, Mike Tomlin's team will dress 4 tight ends. An hour and a half before kickoff, Pittsburgh announced wide receiver Scotty Miller, safeties Chuck Clark and Jabril Peppers, linebacker Cole Holcomb, guard Andrus Peat, and defensive lineman Logan Lee were its inactive players for Week 9. The Steelers will host the Colts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday. Steelers have 5 running backs active for Week 9. The Steelers added 2 safeties this past week, including former Washington starter Derek Forrest. But rather than promote Forrest from the practice squad, Tomlin and his coaching staff elevated 2 running backs. Sermon will be making his 3rd appearance for the Steelers this season. He has yet to play a snap on offense. With all the healthy running backs for Pittsburgh in Week 9, it's unlikely he'll get a chance on offense Sunday. But Sermon gives the team another option at kick returner. The veteran running back returned 2 kickoffs for 51 yards in his first 2 games for Pittsburgh. The Green Bay Packers drafted Nichols in the 7th round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Green Bay waived Nichols at the end of his first training camp. The Philadelphia Eagles then signed the running back. After signing with the Eagles practice squad multiple times over 2 years, Nichols has spent this season with the Steelers practice squad. Sunday will be his NFL regular season debut. At Central Michigan in college, Nichols averaged 5 yards per carry and posted 3,635 yards from scrimmage in 32 games. Warren leads the Steelers with 373 rushing yards this season, but Gainwell has a team-high 3 rushing touchdowns. Johnson has registered 36 rushing yards while averaging 2.6 yards per carry. Major safety concerns for Mike Tomlin's defense. The Steelers appear ready to deploy a hyper-ball control style of offense with 5 running backs and 4 tight ends Sunday. That's likely to protect the team's defense, which is off to one of the worst starts in the franchise's history. Tomlin and his defense are also dealing with major depth problems at safety. The team placed starter Deshaun Elliott on injured reserve Friday. The Steelers then ruled out safeties Peppers and Clark for Week 9 on Saturday. Peppers has a quadriceps injury, while Clark is overcoming an illness. Without those 3 players, the Steelers will only officially have 2 safeties dressed for the Colts matchup. Plus, one of those safeties, Kyle Duggar, just joined the team through a trade with the New England Patriots less than a week ago. In all likelihood, the Steelers are planning to use former All-Pro defensive back Jalen Ramsey at safety against the Colts. Ramsey has lined up all over the Pittsburgh defense this season. He has taken 51 snaps at box safety and 44 snaps at free safety in his first 7 games with the Steelers. But a majority of his snaps have been at cornerback. The defense could survive with Ramsey's move to safety. However, there has to be major concern for what the Steelers will do if something happens to Ramsey, Duggar, or the team's other starting safety, Juan Thornhill. Should one of those 3 suffer an injury against the Colts, the Steelers will have to move another defensive back with no safety experience in an NFL game to the back end of the secondary. With the NFL trade deadline just hours away at this point, Pittsburgh Steelers fans are on the edge of their seats to see if general manager Omar Khan makes a move that can bolster this roster before the sun sets on Tuesday. Mike Tomlin already made it clear, you can expect this team to be buyers at the deadline. Pittsburgh's front office practiced what they preached by going out and acquiring safety Kyle Duggar from the New England Patriots. Now, many fans are banging the table for the Steelers to target a wide receiver or a cornerback before the deadline. But trading away a player before the deadline shouldn't be completely out of the question, especially after the latest development from Week 9. On Monday, ESPN insider Adam Schefter confirmed Green Bay Packers fans' biggest fears. Sensational tight end Tucker Kraft had, in fact, sustained a season-ending ACL injury in the Week 9 loss to the Carolina Panthers. Kraft tore up the Steelers on Sunday Night Football in Week 8 with 7 receptions for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Losing Kraft was a disastrous blow to a team hoping to contend in the NFC playoff race this year. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have just what the doctor ordered. The Pittsburgh Steelers should trade Pat Freiermuth to the Green Bay Packers. 1 week before Kraft's massive performance against the Steelers, tight end Pat Freiermuth exploded for a monstrous game against the Cincinnati Bengals, which included 5 receptions on 6 targets for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately for Freiermuth, he's seen his role in Pittsburgh decrease with the emergence of Darnell Washington. Freiermuth has only played 30 or more snaps in 1 game since Week 4, as Washington continues to outpace him in usage. The reduced role has also cut into Freiermuth's production, as he's on pace for the worst statistical season of his career. While Freiermuth has not publicly declared his frustration with the organization, nor has he demanded a trade, it's safe to assume that the proven commodity would be itching at the opportunity to be heavily involved in the passing game again. That's something the Packers could offer him, and the Steelers might regret not trading him before the deadline. Though the Steelers hardly want to part with assets when they feel they are in a Super Bowl window, Freiermuth has essentially become the third tight end on this team. Instead of dishing out $12.1 million per year to a backup tight end, per over the cap, Pittsburgh could unload him to a team now desperate to replace their superstar at the position. Freiermuth would hardly be a 1-to-1 replacement for Tucker Kraft, but he's easily an upgrade over what they have now. Freiermuth checks a ton of boxes the Packers would likely seek. He's a former second-round pick with loads of starting experience in his first 4 seasons, and he already has 3 years of 60-plus receptions. Freiermuth isn't as athletic as Kraft, but he can run a full route tree, is tough at the catch point, and physical after the catch. This could make him the exact piece Green Bay could pursue as they look to capitalize on a Super Bowl window of their own. Ideally, the Steelers would love to get back one of the Packers' wide receivers in return. However, Green Bay just got Christian Watson back, while Jayden Reed is still nursing a collarbone injury suffered early in the season. Because of this, the Packers would likely be unwilling to part with an important piece of their offense, like Romeo do. But maybe a talented player like W.R. Dontavian Wicks could be included in the trade. If not, the Steelers could ask for a depth piece elsewhere to add to their roster. Or, at the very least, they could dangle Freiermuth in front of a desperate Packers team for a respectable draft pick in 2026. Assuming Darnell Washington and Jonnu Smith can stay healthy the rest of the way, Pat Freiermuth becomes expendable. I don't see Mike Tomlin signing off on trading an asset away before the deadline, but shipping him to Green Bay is a trade that could make sense for both teams after the catastrophic injury to Tucker Kraft. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a hot start to the season, winning 4 of their first 5 games. After a rough 2-game stretch, Mike Tomlin's team has gained momentum with a big Week 9 win against the formerly 7-1 Indianapolis Colts. With the Steelers firmly in the AFC race, there are moves to be made with the November 4th trade deadline rapidly approaching. One move the Steelers need to make is acquiring a wide receiver. Recently, the perfect wideout for Pittsburgh was made available. That receiver is Jalen Waddle, for whom the Miami Dolphins are reportedly open to hearing offers. While a Waddle trade is being characterized as highly unlikely, Miami listening to offers means the team would part ways with the wideout for the right price. The Steelers should absolutely call the Dolphins to see what that price is. The Pittsburgh Steelers should explore a blockbuster trade with the Dolphins for W.R. Jalen Waddle. According to NFL insider Adam Schefter, who reported that Miami will listen to offers for Waddle, the Dolphins are asking for a first-round pick, plus other compensation. That means any package Pittsburgh puts together would be centered around the Steelers' 2026 first-round pick. While the Steelers are loaded with picks in next year's draft, they currently only have 1 first, so this may be too big an ask for the franchise. It's understandable why Miami would set the asking price so high. Waddle is only turning 27 at the end of November, and he's under contract through the 2028 season. Additionally, he eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards in 3 of his first 4 seasons, and already has 41 receptions for 586 yards and 4 touchdowns this season. The Dolphins certainly want Waddle to be a part of their upcoming rebuild, but are leaving the door open for an offer they can't refuse. Adding Waddle would make the Steelers more complete contenders this season, and they're obviously going all in, but Pittsburgh will have to ask itself how much is too much.